Hello coders, welcome to Refresh Coding. My name is Madhulika, and in this video we are going to see how we can deploy our Java code, means our Spring Boot jar file, to AWS Codeploy with entire steps like code commit, code build, code deploy and code pipeline. So we will see all these steps in this video. So first of all, what you need to do, just create a Spring Boot project as usual. Just give here some code, controller code, any code, whatever you want. So here I have kept all my code as Java Repo 1, and here you need to remember certain things when you are working with code deploy, that you will not keep your entire Java project in the repository, or you will not push your entire Java project to code commit, because a lot of other dependencies and libraries are there which are not required. You will only take your src package, where your src main Java, src resources and test file will be there. That's it. And after that, you will take your appspec.yaml, buildspec.yaml and pom.xml, where all your dependencies are specified. In pom.xml also, you will have to remember that here I am taking Java version 11 and the Spring Boot version is 2.5.5. So if it is some later version, then you will have to take the setting according to that version. And automatic, it will load all these dependencies, libraries in the build phase, and it will create the jar file for you. So you are not supposed to create the jar file and keep it here. Another important thing, if you see the buildspec.yaml, you will write this code here. Here also you will take the Java version as Corretto 11, mvn clean install. This build command will automatic run and it will create the jar file for you. Post build command, build completed. After that, this artifact files are very important. These are the file which will specify to your code deploy agent like what it is supposed to do in your EC2 instance. Now how code deploy works, that we have already discussed in a video with index.html, but I will discuss everything here once again. So remember, these files are very important. Now after this, if you see, we have appspec.yaml. So in appspec.yaml also all this code is written, which is, it is where your code will be actually deployed, and the certain hooks are also written here which will automatic run before deploying your application. So if you can see, these are in a script file. So where is the script? The scripts are all there in the script folder. So if you can see here, scripts, here all the scripts are there: server clear, server start, server stop and fix privilege and all those things. So all these files I will keep here in the repository. I'll give this link in the video description. You can take this file and you can change the version according to your project. Now after this, what is the first step we will do? We will work with code commit. So first we will commit the code in code commit. We will create the repository. After that, we will build the code, we will deploy, and then we'll create a pipeline. So we will do all the things step by step. So the first step is I will push this code to code commit. So already I have this code in my local system as Java Repo 1. So I will, so in the code commit, I'll create the repository first. So I'll say create repository. I'll give this repository name as Java Repo. Let's say 2. Description is optional. You can write any description and simply create. Okay, right now I'm working as a root user. If you want to work with a IAM user, you will have to give code commit permission, full access to that user. So please do that. If you don't know how to do it, just watch the video of code commit which I have created earlier. After this, what I will do, I will simply clone this URL, clone HTTPS. I'll come back here to my terminal, and here I will simply say git clone and I will give my code commit URL. Okay, it will clone the repository and it will say you appear to have cloned an empty repository. So that is fine with us. Now what I will do, I will just take all this code of Java Repo 1 into Java Repo 2. We can do all this thing through Git commands also, but it will take a lot of time. So I will just quickly do it like this, because our motto is here to deploy the code. So I got all the files in my Java Repo 2, but these files are up till now in my local system. I want it in my code commit repository. So what I will do, I will just go to terminal and I will say git. No, the first thing we need to do is we need to go to this repository. So we will say Java Repo 2. And after that I will say git add and -a. So it will add all the files to our commit phase. After that we will say git commit and we will give a message and we will write here files added. Again, you can give any message here, not a problem, and it will add all the files to our commit phase. And after this we will just say, I'll clear all these things, and after this we will simply say git and push, and it will push all the code to your code commit repository. So you can see now it has pushed the entire code to your main branch of code commit repository. Now I will be back to my code commit. I'll go to repositories and Java Repo, and we got all the code. So our commit phase is over here. Now what we will do, we will go for code build. So we will build this entire code and we will get our jar file which we will deploy. Okay, so now I will go to code build and I will say build projects. Now, so we will create a build project here, and project name I will say, let's say my Java build. Description again optional, all these things are optional. Here the most important thing is your source. So you can take your source from anywhere. Right now we are taking the source from code commit. Repository Java Repo 2, branch, main branch. After that, the other things are optional. In the environment, you will take a managed image and we will take Amazon Linux 2. Runtime, standard. Here you can select any image. So we will take this Corretto 11.1 because we are working with Java. That's it. Other things are same. We will create a new service role. So automatic it will create this code build Java build service role for you. And build spec, we will take the build spec file. We will use a build spec file. So we already have build spec.yaml file. So we will use it. Remember, if you have given any other name for your build spec.yaml, just specify that name here. After that, in the batch configuration, artifact and all these things, we will leave as it is. Logs also we will keep same, and then create build project. Now it will take some time. And there you go, project is created. Now what we will do, once the project is created, we will start the build. And build is in progress. It will take some time. And if you can see now, your build is succeeded. That means we got our jar file. So we will just go and see the build logs. If you can see what it will do in the build phase, it will just download all your dependencies which is there in your pom.xml. Remember, in the code we have kept only pom.xml. We have not kept any dependencies. So it will download everything for you. And after that, code, it will load all the dependency, everything, and it will create this jar file for you. And you can see now build success and build completed. So this is what is our code build part, where we have built the Java project and we have got our jar file. If you can see, build status succeeded, and you can see all this information. Now after this, we are going to deploy this code to our code deploy. So before working with code deploy, we need two roles. So we will just quickly go here to IAM roles and we will create two roles. So first role will be your EC2 instance profile role. So we will select here AWS service, then EC2, then next. And here we need two permissions. So the first permission is Amazon EC2 role for AWS code deploy. So that we will search here Amazon EC2 role. And here you can see Amazon EC2 role for AWS code deploy. So we will select this. And the second one is Amazon SSM management instance core. So that also we will select Amazon SSM. Okay, remove this one. Okay, Amazon SSM managed instance core, this one. So these two roles are required. These two policies are required here to work with code deploy. We will do next. Here just give any name. So I will give the name as EC2 instance profile role. You can give any name, not a problem. And I will simply create role. Now after this, we require one more role to work with AWS code deploy. So we will create role, and here we will choose for code deploy. And in code deploy also we will take this one because we are going to deploy the code on EC2. After this we will do next. Automatic it will come AWS code deploy role, and we will do next. And here we will simply give any name, let's say code deploy role, and that's it. We will create role. So now our both the roles are ready. One more thing before working with code deploy, we need to launch an EC2 instance where it will deploy your code. Now yes, with AWS code deploy you will have to launch the EC2 instance manually. So it is not like your Elastic Beanstalk that it will launch the instance automatic by itself. So you will have to launch the instance. So we will quickly go to EC2, and here we will launch instance. So we will launch an instance. Instance name you can give anything, let's say demo instance or Java demo instance. And in the image, select here this one, HVM kernel one. This is also eligible with free tier. After this, instance type T2 micro. Key pair, I already have a key pair as my key. If you don't have, you can simply create a new key pair. After this, create security group, and here allow HTTP traffic and HTTPS traffic, anywhere is fine. After that, configure storage 8 GB, that is fine. Just go to advanced details, and here make sure you are selecting this IAM instance profile role which we have created. Okay, this is very, very important. That's why before working with code deploy, it is important to create this role. And that's it. Make sure here number of instances are 1 and then launch instance. So it will take some time and our instance is launched successfully. You can see it is pending right now. In some time it will be running. So by that time we will quickly create an application in code deploy. So we are in code deploy now. So first thing you need to do is create an application. So I will give the application name as, let's say, demo app. And compute platform, very, very important. Here we will select EC2 on premises. Later on in the later videos, we will see how to deploy code on Lambda and ECS also. Here we will work with EC2. So create application. And once you are done with create application, after that we will create the deployment group. Now here we will give any deployment group name. Let's say my deployment and then group. Service role, here you remember we have created one code deploy role. So we will select it. Deployment type in place. Environment configuration, here we will select Amazon EC2 instance. Now remember that is the reason we have launched an instance first. It is up and running. So we will select that instance here. So we will take the key as name and in the value we will get our demo instance. After this, agent configuration with AWS System Manager, it is very, very important. So remember, for this only in our code we have all those scripts and all those things. So automatic agent will automatic work those scripts and it will start everything in your instance. So that's why here we will select now and schedule updates. After this deployment setting, we will just do one at a time because right now we are working only with one deployment. And load balancing, right now I will not work with it. So later on we will see how we can do load balancing and auto scaling, all those things also. So success deployment group is created. Now what we need to do, now we need to do the actual deployment. See, up till now I have not selected my source code anywhere. So we will create a deployment for that. So but here some limitation is I do not have a option to create a deployment with code commit. So that's why I can either select the code from S3 or GitHub, but our code is in code commit. So what we will do, we will simply go to pipeline and now we will combine everything in a pipeline. So here I will create pipeline and just give a pipeline name as let's say demo pipeline. New service role, automatic it will create this service role for you. Advanced settings, just keep everything on default. Do next. Source, here we will select our source from AWS Codecommit, repository Java repo 2, branch name main. The rest of the thing we will keep default. We will do next. Build provider, here our build provider is codebuild and our build project name is Java build. If you remember, the build is already successful. After that, single build, yes, we will do next. Deploy provider, here we will select our code deploy. Application name we have created demo app. Deployment group we have created my deployment group, we will select it. Next, we will just review everything and create pipeline. It will take some time to create the pipeline. And now if you can see, pipeline is created, so it will run all the steps one by one. If you can see, it is running the build, source, and then it will run the build and then it will deploy. So it will run entire pipeline, and once our pipeline is green, that means our code is deployed successfully. So if you can see, the source is already green. We will wait for build, and if you can see, the build is also green now. So it is finally in the deploy stage. And there you go. You can see our deployment is also green. That means our code is deployed successfully to our EC2 instance. But how we will check that? So if you can see, the entire pipeline is green here. That means our code is built and deployed successfully. So we will check the EC2 instance which is running. And here, see, if we are working with a simple index.html file, as you have seen in the earlier video, we will just simply take the public DNS and we will run it here and it will work. But since we are working with a Java project, it is not like that. Okay, so this is how you work with Java, right? 8080 is our port number where our server is running, and after that the URL which I have given is welcome. Okay, but still it will not work. Okay, because it has deployed the jar file to this EC2 instance, but we need to run that jar somewhere. So for that, what we will have to do, first we will have to connect to this instance. Okay, so I will connect to this instance. I will take this SSH. I will open the terminal, and here we'll just clear it. And now I am in the directory where my key file is there, and here I will paste it, and it should connect me. Yes. And there you go. You can see now we are connected to our EC2 instance which we have launched. But here I will just clear all these things so that you can see properly. And if you see the readme file here, I have kept this command, okay, how to install Java and how to run this command. Okay, so I will quickly run this command to install Java in my EC2 instance. I will go back to terminal. I will run this command. Since we are working with Java 11, so we will quickly run it. And you can see now it will install Java in your system. We will just do yes. I know when we are talking about code deploy, it should be automatic, but we are doing this thing manually. But that's okay. This pipeline is mainly for, if you trigger any changes, automatic, it will be, the pipeline will be triggered. That's the main motto of it. So now if I do Java dash version, and now you can see it is giving me OpenJDK version and all those things. That means our Java is installed. Now we will run our jar file. Okay, so if I do ls here, list of file, you can see I am EC2 user server, all these things are there. Can we see our jar file? No. So we will just try to go inside this server. And here we will do ls. And there you go. Can you see we have our AWS code deploy demo 0.0.1 snapshot.jar here along with the scripts appspec.yaml server start and all these things. So we have not put it all these things here manually. It is deployed through our code deploy steps. Okay, now what we are supposed to do, we are just supposed to run this AWS code deploy demo jar. So for that, what I will do, I will simply run the command java jar and AWS snapshot.jar. And you can see now our Spring Boot is running here and we have got it started. Can you see Tomcat started port 8080. And if you remember in the EC2 instance security group, we have allowed HTTP and HTTPS. That's why it is working. If you forget by any chance, you will have to do it manually. Now what we will do, we will come back here, and if you remember here we already took this public DNS of our EC2 instance 8080 and /welcome. We will just run it once again. And there you go. You can see your code is deployed. You can see code is deployed in code deploy. Again, why it is writing again? Because I made some changes here in the code. So what is the purpose of this pipeline mainly is that if you commit any changes to your code, automatic this pipeline will trigger and it will deploy that change to your code. So suppose if I go to code commit once again, repository, and here I go to my source main in Java com. Okay, this is what is the code right now which is running, right? Code is deployed in code deploy. Again, this is what is the return message. So let's say again I'm writing here, I'll have to edit it. So again I'm writing here, let's say code is deployed once again in code deploy. Okay, so I'm changing it. Here I will just commit it quickly. Commit changes. And if you see, the moment you will commit the change, automatic your pipeline will trigger. Just go to pipelines, and if you can see demo pipeline again in progress. Earlier it was all green, so it is running once again. It will run all the steps once again automatic. You don't have to do anything, just change your code and commit it. That's it. Okay, so if you can see, build is also green once again. It is running the deploy step once again. And you can see the deploy is also green. Now if I come back here and I just refresh the browser, and there you go, you can see code is deployed once again in code deploy. That means your code is deployed anytime you are changing your code, you are just committing it, entire pipeline will run once again and your change is deployed. You will not have to do manually again and again. So that's what is the major benefit of working with code commit, code build, code deploy and code pipeline. Yes, if you are working with Java, you will have to take care of certain things, like you will have to install Java and you will have to run the application manually. Plus, one more very important thing is that you go to your EC2 instance and in the security inbound rules, you check that it must allow port 8080. Okay, because for HTTP, the default port is 80, it is not 8080. So you should allow 8080, otherwise you will not be able to see this output. So here it is a very simple string message. You can return all your JSON objects here and you can connect your Swagger here and you can just work with it as you work in your normal Spring Boot projects. So that's it in this video. I hope you like it. Please like the video and please subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to delete all your resources after this, because otherwise if it will keep running, the AWS will charge you. So you delete your pipeline. Okay, let's say I will quickly go to the pipeline and I will delete pipeline. Just type here delete, and after that go to your build, which is very important, because in the build project you can see 5,000 of lines of build is running. Okay, so if you don't need it, just delete it quickly. delete. After that, go back to your code deploy application and quickly delete the application. Delete application. Here also delete. If you want to work with code commit repository, you can keep it since it is not that big code, it is hardly in some kbs, but still if you don't need it, just delete the repository also. So I will quickly delete it. And one more thing, very important, come back to your IAM roles, and if you see, it has created some roles for your code build and code pipeline. Okay, so delete those roles as well, because otherwise unnecessary it will clash with your other builds later on. You can keep the EC2 instance profile and code deploy role, not a problem, but these roles are particular to that particular build and pipeline, so that's why they are not required. Just simply delete them. And after this, one more very important thing, when you are cleaning up the resources, just go to policies and you will see it has created some extra policies for your build and pipeline. Now these policies may also create some problems in future, so please delete them as well. Okay, so just give the policy names and delete all of them. Okay, so if you can see now, all the policies are deleted and that's it. You're good to go. You have deleted all the resources. So that's it in this video. And one more very important thing, don't forget to terminate the instance. If the instance will also keep running, again you are charged. So create the instance, and with instance, delete the security group as well. Okay, delete the security group as well which is created, because with the instance, if you remember, you have created a new security group also, so please delete that also. So that's it in this video. I hope you like the video. Please practice all the things properly, and please like the video and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching.